Greetings, YouTube. Lester Crow coming at you with the sun shining right in his face. This is a terrible place to record video, but I gotta move around. I'm a real emotion-oriented person, and I just got back from a walk trying to clear my head, doing some writing, and my writer's block is causing me some concern, but at the same time, it's getting me out. Sun's shining, Canada's starting to thaw. I love that. Spring's coming for sure. Still a little cold and windy here where I live. I live on the eastern side of the Rocky Mountains, so it can get really windy where I live. It's blowing its face off right now, but anyway, I'm prepping for games, and I wanted to touch on a subject really quickly that just irks me so much, and this is brought on from watching a bunch of videos about player styles, and B, stuff that I've been reading on the forums, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 3rd edition forums, on Fantasy Flight Games website. And I had to touch on this. It's a point of contention with me. It's an extremely sensitive subject for me. I apologize if any of you guys come at me with some relevant points and I attack you in the comments, because I have no time for people of this specific ilk. Now, what this specific ilk is MinMaxers. I fucking hate MinMaxers, and I do everything in my power to discourage MinMaxers in my games. Role-playing is a time with which a group of people who have similar interests get together to tell a story. MinMaxers are trying to win a game. Role-playing is beyond a game. Role-playing is community storytelling. It is not it's mechanically oriented in the sense that we're trying to get over that whole, I shot the goblin. Well, no, you didn't shoot the goblin. Well, how do we prove that? Oh, well, we have stats and we have dice, and that's how we get over elements of randomness. But people who sit there and number crunch and fucking do all the stupid things, they go in and they calculate out percentages, and they make their character sick at one thing and terrible at another thing, and then wonder why their character sucks when it comes time to do social interaction or something like that. And bitch and moan about that, but they wanted to just have the min-maxed character. I fucking hate players like that, and I don't know why anybody would ever want to do that. I mean, we're not playing an MMO. This isn't a computer program. It's a game with which to create a character who has a cool story and to enact that player's existence, I guess, in this fantastical world. So I'm curious to know if any of you are min-maxers. If that is your like meat and potatoes, gotta min-max, gotta have the 18th strength score for D&D parlance, or that would be equivalent to like 4 or 5 strength in Warhammer. But I can't stand that. I don't abide by it. I will not play games with players who are min-maxers. I refuse to, because it pisses me off. They are missing the point, in my opinion, of a role-playing game. You don't win role-playing games. So why create a character who is geared to try to win? I understand wanting your character to survive, but you can do that by not min-maxing your character and just having a really good story, or making rational decisions with your character. Like, you're not going to die if you make a good decision. Sometimes you got to run away from combat. Even the fucking 18th strength guy has to run from combat from time to time. So why do that? Why min-max? That leads to people falling out of the story because they created a character from a mechanical standpoint, not from a story standpoint. So they have no real connection to story because they min-maxed their character. Their main goal is to create a character to win a game. You don't win role-playing games, especially my role-playing games. There's no winning. You play and play and play and play. If your character dies, you create a new one. Period. That's how it happens. And you keep going and you have fun. And fun, story, fun, story. That is the fucking focus of my games. I'm really fired up right now. My foul mouth is really showing through right now. Highly because of how vehemently I oppose power gamers, min-maxers. They piss me off. It's like, you want to min-max in my games? Well, you can't play in my games because I don't allow for that. I hate it. And if somebody comes in and cleverly if they come in with a great story, but they also min-max their character, well, then I have to kind of swallow my pride, let them play because they came up with a good story. However, I always penalize them. I penalize them heavily in the areas that they just kind of neglected, minimized in order to maximize the specific area of talent or whatever. I hate that. It's stupid. You are literally calculating your character from a metagame standpoint, not from a, man, this is a character I'd really like to create, He's sad, his sister was killed, his mother was raped and murdered, and so he has this vehement dislike for this X number of people or for this specific institution because they're the ones who could have done something and didn't do something. So he hates these people, but at the same time, he's quite waifish. He's very frail, kind of like a Raceland character from Dragonlance. I love that character. That character really, it really afforded for me that oomph, that drive that I really like in creating characters. That tragic hero, that person who can overcome adversity even though they have setbacks or drawbacks built into the character. Min-maxers don't do that. Min-maxers minimize things that they don't ever want to use and then maximize the things that they're going to use the most in the game. Raceland, that character isn't a min-max. That character is a very well created character from a story standpoint, and I love that character. I really hope that I don't end up flaming anybody here. If you can really come up with a good explanation as to why there is merit behind power gaming or min-maxing, I'd really like to hear it. If you can change my mind about it, I'd be shocked. And I do apologize if I do end up flaming any of you guys. But you got to remember, if you come at me with any sort of, oh, listen here, Sonny, this is why, and you don't make any good points, well, you can go fuck yourself, because that's not constructive criticism. If you have constructive criticism, I welcome it, and I love it, and I love to be proved wrong. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite things in the world, because I'm learning new things. My whole existence revolves around the gathering of knowledge. But I don't think you'll ever be able to change my mind about power gaming. I've had very poor experiences. Every experience I've ever had with a min-maxer has been a poor one. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. There's no place in it. There's no place in role-playing for that, in my opinion. That's computer gaming. If you want a computer game, you're attempting to win the computer game, therefore, please, by all means, min-max. By all means. Playing Oblivion, min-max, by all means, because you're trying to win the game, because it's a game that can be won. My role-playing games, there's no winning. There's no losing. Your character dies, oh shit, create a new character. I might penalize you a little bit. In Warhammer parlance, there's like a ranking system where from 0 to 10 experience, or 0 to 9 experience points, you're rank 1. When you get to 10 experience points, you're rank 2. When you get to 20, you're rank 3, so on and so forth. So you may start a couple experience points below the current party if you remake a character, just to make it fair for the other characters. But usually I don't do that. Usually I just give you the same amount of experience that your other character had, and then you create a new character and then work them into the story. Because I want you to continue on, because the story is the main point. And character is beautiful, and character is wonderful, and characters are my favorite portion of role-playing, because I game master from the perspective that I am telling a story, yes, to help me tell stories and to give myself some fun, but at the same time, I gear it towards players. Players are the meat and potatoes of role-playing. As a game master, you want players, and I want to encourage good play. And I think that it is my opinion, or I am of the opinion, that power gamers are pieces of shit, and they have no place at my table. I'm sorry that this rant was a little bit violent. I hate bullying and violence, and I shouldn't be like this, but it's just something it had been bubbling and boiling up inside me for a couple days now, where I've been reading some posts and stuff about people complaining about not being able to min-max very easily in Warhammer. And I'm just like, oh God, because the game is geared towards storytelling, it's not mechanically geared. The mechanics are cool, but they're not geared for that. It's not like, hey, min-max kids. It's like, let's tell a good story, and here are some ways you can do that mechanically. Anyway, fuck power gamers, and see you later.